All right, before I get into it, I'll give you a little update if you're wondering, and don't act like you're not. If you're wondering about what happened with the Amazon debacle, that would be a debacle. But little Carmine says debacle. If you're wondering what happened with that, it was solved. Yeah, it was solved a couple of days ago, somewhat satisfactorily. And I actually did a video detailing what happened to solve kind of that problem. And I talked to them 3 or 4 days ago, and I did the video I think the next day or yesterday, and just didn't get around to putting it up, which is a good thing because it all went to hell shortly after, and now I'm in this endless Amazon loop of hell. And so I think what I'm going to do now is do a little addendum to the video that had a happy ending, and now it has a nightmare ending. I'll have to do a video of that nightmare ending and put it all together, and it's unbelievable. This is just like I'm smiling, but it's really, really horrible, this garbage from Amazon. So with that out of the way, now I'm going to talk about Pearl Jam Yield. Look at this baby right here. You may be surprised if you only know me through this channel or through the music. If you only know the music that I like through this channel, it might be a surprise to you that I, not just that I love Pearl Jam. That might be a surprise. I haven't talked. This is the first album of theirs I've talked about in this series. When I first started doing this 3 years ago, I went through their whole discography, not track by track, but I did go through them. So this is the first time I'm going to focus on a Pearl Jam album. I don't think I've talked about Pearl Jam before. I'll even make the argument right now for Pearl Jam being my favorite band ever. Using the criteria that I use, my top 4, you've heard me say this: Kiss, Metallica, Iron Maiden, Motorhead. Now those are because they're bands obviously that I love, but also that I discovered when I was pretty young. The oldest I was when I discovered any of those bands was 13 or 14 with Metallica. Kiss, I was 6 years old. Iron Maiden, I was 12. Motorhead and Metallica, 13, 14. And Pearl Jam, I got into them, and obviously in 91. I was actually into Mother Love Bone before that in 89. So I was a Pearl Jam fan even before they were Pearl Jam. But at that time they were, this is very stupid, but they were I was a little bit old to be into a new band for them to be on my coveted list of favorite bands ever. And Faith No More could kind of be like that too. But really, the argument that I will make for Pearl Jam being my favorite band, I've seen them live more than any other band. I've seen them live more than, like, I don't know, Metallica and Motorhead put together. And I've seen them in 3 countries. I've only seen 4 bands, I think, in 3 countries: Canada, United States, Mexico. Pearl Jam is one of them. See if you can guess together on other ones. Leave a comment down below. So huge band, and I would say out of all those bands I love, Pearl Jam is the most consistent. They don't have one. They obviously they have some albums that some people don't like, but I think in the world of Pearl Jam, they don't have a Saint Anger. They don't have Music from the Elder, or they didn't have a period like Iron Maiden had through the 90s when they had a new singer and they sucked and nobody cared about them. And Pearl Jam has been remarkably consistent. By far the best live band I've ever seen. Really, nobody's close. Not Metallica, not Iron Maiden. Those are some of my favorites, but really Pearl Jam is the best. And now this album, Yield, this is the only Pearl Jam record that I have. I got this about a month ago not at El Chopo, I was going to say, but at the Bazar de Discos in Mexico City. Miguel, thank you again, had sent me some records, I guess now about 2 months ago. And he had sent me an Adele record just because he had 15 of them. So he thought, I'll throw one in. And I didn't want an Adele record. So I traded it for this plus about $10 cash. And that's how I got this recently. This is from, the album itself is from 1998. This was reissued on vinyl, what is it, 5, 6, 7 years ago? I don't know. And I wouldn't have bought this one. I'm not too interested in buying records that I didn't have on record at the time that they came out. So anything really post 1990, I will, and I have made some exceptions, but I don't seek out records post 1990. But this was, I got it in a trade, and it was okay. It's not my favorite Pearl Jam. It's probably number 2. Should I say my favorite? Yeah, I probably will, because I don't think I'll talk about other Pearl Jam albums too much. My favorite Pearl Jam album is the Avocado album from 2006. I like that, and I like that, I would say, significantly more than any other Pearl Jam album. I have a real strong emotional and personal attachment to this, which maybe I'll talk about at some point. Maybe I should talk about that album. But Yield, now let me tell you a little bit about my Pearl Jam history. Love 10, love Versus, loved and still love both of those. And then when Vitalogy came out, it was a big letdown for me. Looking back on it now, I love it, but I thought it was very, very uneven. They had, there was 4 clear examples of filler. They had Bugs, Pry 2, Foxy Mop Handle Mama, That's Me, and what was the other one? I can't remember. And a good, Better Man is great, and Last Exit was great, Spin the Black Circle. But some of the other ones, I just couldn't get into it. There's too much up and down. But I do love it now, as I said. And then when No Code came out, which was their 4th record, I have to clear my throat. Excuse me. I usually do these, trivia fact, I usually do these videos on an empty stomach. But I had to change my schedule a little bit today. And I just finished eating some really good chicken breast. I cook chicken breast a couple of times a week. And I always cook a Serrano chile with it. And so I'm a little bit sniffly from the chile. Then when No Code came out in 1996, I thought, bye-bye Pearl Jam. I thought that album sucked. I love it more than not more than anything, but I love that album now. My least favorite album, Pearl Jam, is it Riot Act, or maybe the last one, Gigaton? Hard to say. But so this one, when this came out in 1998, I wanted nothing to do with Pearl Jam at that time. Given to Fly was the first single. I want to say that I never even heard it. I feel like it wasn't until years later that I heard it, although I must have heard it on the radio. But I just had no interest in Pearl Jam. And then the next one was Binaural. Never get into that one either, although I love that one now too. And then it was when Riot Act came, which, as I just said, is maybe my least favorite. But somehow at that time I thought, you know what, I need to get back into Pearl Jam. At that point I hadn't listened to them for, I guess it was about 6 years. I thought, man, Pearl Jam used to be like one of my favorite bands. I kind of missed them. And they had done the live bootlegs from the 71 or 72 shows they did. Released all 72 on CD. I bought all of those. I saw them 5 times on that tour. And that really rejuvenated me in Pearl Jam world. And I don't know what else I can say. So I went back and bought Binaural and Yield, and love Yield. As I said, probably my second favorite. So that's my history with Yield. I'm gonna go through it track by track right now. That cut was for nothing else other than just as I realized I was gonna get through this track by track, I had a mini panic attack thinking that I forgot to press record. So I just had to do that, and it was recording. So I just had to make a little cut there. So I'll get to Yield now. I think in general, it's just the best word I can use to describe this album. It's just beautiful. It's just so many songs in it. And I'm going to probably use it to describe the songs individually. So many songs are just beautiful. And to me, it feels, I think maybe because I'm an outdoor person, I love hiking and camping. Used to go camping a lot. And maybe it's because the album cover too, it's got this, like this landscape album cover. It's just it's a nature album. It's just beautiful. I love it. And I can take this silly plastic off. I don't really care about that. And it does have, it wasn't new. But it does have the hype sticker. It says newly mastered for vinyl. Ooh, I can't wait to hear the difference. Out of print since original release in 1998, featuring recreated original artwork, includes die-cut Yield sign cover and Yield sign sticker. I'm sure It doesn't have the sticker. I haven't opened it, but I'll take this off. As I always say, they always look better. I don't know. I guess some people keep the plastic on, right? I know some people do. I don't. I think they look better like this. Now I can see. I see what they did. All right. So this the yield sign is it's on. That's magic, huh? It goes like that. So this is what's going on. There's the label. Now it's in one of these plastic. I think these are from Mexico. When I was a kid, when I used to buy records, we had these same things, these plastic sleeves, but they had four corners. And the ones that I bought, the used ones that I bought recently in Mexico, they have four corners. Sorry, I mean normally they had four corners, but these ones in Mexico are rounded. I know. So I assume this wasn't part of the actual album. I assume whoever bought this record, it came in this. I'm just putting together the pieces. So I guess it came in this dust sleeve or dust jacket, and they preferred to put it in that. I'll get rid of that plastic and put it in here. I hate that plastic. It's so hard to manage. And yeah, there is no sticker. I guess this is it said it was a die cut yield. Jesus Christ, it's just a triangular hole in it. Don't call it die cut. But I guess that's what this is. And let me make sure that there's no sticker. No, there's nothing in there. So let me and there's what it looks like. All right. So going through this track by track, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the opening. That's Mike McCready counting off into Brain of J, a real storm or a barn burner, I would say, is what that song is. Great vocal from, always great vocals, I think, from Eddie Vedder. The who's got the brain of J, a little bit aggressive. Who's got the brain of JFK? What's it mean to us now? Great chorus. Jack Irons played drums on this. He played on two. He played on No Code in this one. And very different style, I think, that Jack Irons had compared to Dave Abruzzese, I'm not sure even after all these years, I don't know how to say his name. Abruzzese, I think. But yeah, it's a good song, good opener, and great choruses. The whole world will be different. He sings in kind of a falsetto. So good opener, Brain of J. Next is Faithful. Top, and there are, I would say, I don't know, and you know what's weird or great about Pearl Jam for me, I can't pick a favorite Pearl Jam song. Most other bands, I can, pretty much narrow it down to one or two, but Pearl Jam, it's really hard for me. The next song, Faithful, that's a contender for my favorite Pearl Jam song ever. There are a couple more on this album. That's why I like this so much. That could be number one. Faithful, again, it's just a beautiful, beautiful song. Nice kind of, it's got a really gentle swing, like a groove to it. Mike McCready wrote this one. Pearl Jam is also maybe just about the only band I know where I know who wrote each song. They were all credited on the first two albums equally, I think. No, they weren't. I think like Black was credited just to Stone. I think it was this one where they started writing their own lyrics. Like if Stone, I think, wrote a song, he also wrote the lyrics. I think it was on Yield, or maybe Binaural, I'm not sure. But Faithful is just, it's not a ballad, but it is kind of a love song, I guess, just about being faithful to your partner and, being dedicated. It's got the beautiful ending, M-Y-T-H, Eddie Vedder spells that, M-Y-T-H, M-Y-T-H is the name of oh my God, I always do this. I blow the lyrics. I can sing along with all these songs when they're playing, but to speak the lyrics is much more difficult. M-Y-T-H, belief in a prayer, keeps us in our boxes of fear. It's all related. What's a boy to do? Just be, darling, and I will be faithful to you. I missed a lot of stuff there. But yeah, Faithful is a contender for top Pearl Jam song ever. And I've seen them, as I said, I've seen them live a lot. And they've done this song, and Pearl Jam does totally different songs every night. I've seen or heard them play Faithful quite a few times, which is great for me because they don't play it too often, maybe a few times per tour. And it seems like every time I see them, they play it. That's great for me. Next is No Way. This is a Stone Gossard song. Really lazy, slow groove. I think a classic Stone Gossard song. I love this song. I'm not all the static in my Attica shoots down my sciatic nerve. I'm not trying to make a difference. I can't try to make a difference. No way. I'm really blowing it with the lyrics today. Great song. Really, just a slow. It's a rock song, but it's very slow and groovy. Given to Fly. Give it up for this one with Faithful. I put them right up there. And Pearl Jam is a little bit of a unique band. Most bands that I like, Kiss especially, their songs are played way better live than on the record. Pearl Jam, some are, some aren't. I would say most are better live. Given to Fly is one huge exception. I think the studio version of Given to Fly is the definitive version. When they play it live, sometimes they even flow. They speed songs up, Corduroy, and they lose. I'm going to use the word again, groove. They lose the groove and just the sway of them. And Given to Fly on this, it's the opening. It just feels light and airy. It makes me feel like you're outdoors. It's just really nice. And then when they play it live, it's a little bit faster and a little bit aggressive. That's not the word, but oh my God, Given to Fly, and just the lyrics and the way that Eddie Vedder sings these. It's just like, this is very, very dramatic, but like just it's great to be alive. And now, God, am I blowing the lyrics to Given to Fly too? They're really good. And just the way he sings, and he still gives his love. He just gives it away. The love he receives is the love that is saved. He's got the biggest voice ever in this song. And he still gives his love. He just gives it away. Yeah, I said that. He still gives his love. He just gives it away. The love he receives is the love that is saved. A fist came crashing. A wave came crashing like a fist to the jaw. Delivered him wings. Hey, look at me now. And they play this most shows, not always. I've seen them a few times where they didn't play Given to Fly, and I always like it, but not nearly as much as the studio version right here on Yield. Next is Wish List, another soft, just a nice, beautiful, lovely song. I wish I were the messenger and all the news was good. I wish I was the full moon shining on your Camaro's hood. What is it about the verb to trust? I wish I was the verb to trust and never let you down. Great song too. Pilate is next. This is probably, there's got to be one that is your least favorite. Pilate, like Pilate, I have a dog. It's probably my least favorite. This is another kind of slow groover, a little bit, I would say, in the vein of No Way. Jeff Ament wrote this one. Next is Do the Evolution. This is one that is the opposite of Given to Fly. Way better live. I feel like most Pearl Jam I listen to it's live because I've got the official bootlegs of all their shows that I've seen over the years, and I listen to them live a lot. And when I listen to the record, the studio version of Do the Evolution, it kind of drags a little bit for me. It doesn't have the energy. That it does, because this is a kind of a real rock song. Maybe the best rocker on this album. And I think there are only two. Maybe just Brain of Jay and Do the Evolution. Those are really the only real, I would say, rock songs. Which doesn't mean they're bad because I love them both, especially Do the Evolution. Much better live. Then there's I don't know if this song, if you can see. It's just a red dot, and the song is, I don't know if it's untitled or I guess in fan circles it's called Red Dot. Crap, complete filler, pointless. I'm not sure why it's on there. It's just like a percussion thing. Just kind of breaks up the album a little bit. Next is MFC, which stands for Mini Fast Car, I think. And another, I guess you could say it's a driving song because it's about driving, sliding out of reverse, sliding out of reverse into drive in. The wheel will be turning right, then straight off in the sunset we'll ride. So it, you know, brings up these great images of driving, literally, he says in the song, into the sunset we'll ride. It kind of makes you think of this. And I love that, the guitar intro of this amazing song. Low Light, again, beautiful. It's a real nice acoustic song. Jeff Ament wrote this one. MFC is an Eddie Vedder song. Jeff Ament wrote Low Light. Nice acoustic, just beautiful, soft. You know, this is the sound of sunset or sunrise or being on a beach or being in a mountain or something. That's Low Light. And now I'm only now getting to what could also possibly be my favorite Pearl Jam song ever, and that's In Hiding. This song just soars. This is like a bird just flying through the air without a care in the world. And this is one that for years I wanted to see them play live, and I went to many shows. I kept thinking, please play In Hiding. Never heard it. And then I saw them in Detroit in 2006. I went with a friend, and we met some other people there. And this was so nice, and I wish I could remember this girl's name, but it was 17 years ago. We went out for lunch. It was me and my friend Josh, and we met up with some other Pearl Jam fans, and we went out for lunch. And this one girl, she was in the 10 Club, the fan club, which I was too at the time. And she had like fourth row tickets and fourth row floor. And she got a call, and there's something happened to her son. She had to leave. She gave me her ticket. I was supposed to be way back on the floor, up in the first section of the stands or something. And she said she couldn't go. She had to bail. She gave me her ticket, so I was in the fourth row, and I saw them in Detroit 2006. And they played In Hiding, and that was the first and still the only time that I've ever seen Pearl Jam do In Hiding. This song always makes me feel good. I guess it's a song about, lyrically, the way I interpret it is, you know, what it's like to be depressed and just coming out of a funk, you know, just realizing that, you know, there's something good out there, and how it feels to get a burden off your chest or off your shoulders. Which body part is it? Another song that just makes you feel happy and just great. It's great to be alive. I think Given to Fly was like that. Low Light, a little bit like that. Yeah, In Hiding, contender for top Pearl Jam song ever. And next is Push Me, Pull Me. A little bit strange. This is another Jeff Ament song. A little bit spoken word, a little bit of singing. Cool chorus, push me, pull me. It's got a double. Eddie's kind of singing or speaking in low voice, push me, pull me, and then singing, push me, pull me. And good bass and drum song. And then the last one is All Those Yesterdays. This is another Stone Gossard song. Put this in the same category as Low Light. It's not acoustic, but it's just a really nice, happy, kind of almost a little bit maybe melancholy, a little bit like, you know, saying goodbye to something or looking back on something, but it also feels kind of positive. I don't know if I'm explaining any of these properly, but there it is, All Those Yesterdays. And then at the end of this, there's a hidden track, which I always hate hidden tracks. So that's it for Yield. Amazing album. I don't think at this point, I think I was not the only one who had kind of given up on Pearl Jam. And I don't think this album was that big at the time. They had been around for 8 years at this point. This was their 5th album, and they were still popular, but nothing as they were just a few years ago. And people, I think, need to go back and listen to this, because I love it. It was too long that I went without Yield, and I'm very happy to have Yield in my life and to have this record. So that's it. Pearl Jam, Yield. This is a fantastic record. Go listen to it, and you're going to feel great about yourself, I promise. And that was the worst ending ever. Bye.